Hi Nick, how are you doing?
Very well indeed. Yes. What about you?
Yeah, I am good, thank you. Very well indeed too. We booked a holiday, so that's nice.
No. Where are you going and when are you going?
We're going to Yorkshire.
Oh, exotic.
Very exhausted. Instead of Florida Keys, we're going to Yorkshire and we're going in
Well,
July. So
you're going to cross the Scottish border into England.
that's right. We're going.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. I know. Anyway, today we're going to talk about is it bad, or rather, I'm going to ask the question, is it bad to think big?
Yes, it is. Oh, sorry. No, you did prompt me earlier on, didn't you? Hang on.
No, we talked
No,
about this
no,
earlier, didn't we?
no, it is not. No, it isn't. Well, so what do you mean by is it bad to think big?
Well, so we have a direct experience of our mother, God rest her soul,
God rest her soul.
who would, we're quite ambitious. We've always been ambitious. We like the finer things in life. We've got a bit of a penchant for nice cars and houses and things like that. And we've always thought big. Our plans have always been, well, we want to grow this, we want to do that. And our mum, bless her, would say, well, who do you think you are to do that? Who do you think you are to do that?
Yes.
And I'm sure other people have experienced that. And also some businesses, when they talk about their business plans and their ambitions, they might receive advice from somebody that might be, oh, you just need to scale that back a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm posing the question: is it bad to think big? And people criticize people like Jeff Bezos for having too much money. I think we need to discuss it and explore it. What do you think?
I don't think it's bad because you're allowed to think anything you want. So I don't think it's bad to think that way, but you might find that you get negativity around it. You might get pushback, and actually, bizarrely, from those people who are closest to you. I think those people who know you well might do that. I remember I used to know a guy who I won't name because people would find him on LinkedIn. He's now an exceptionally successful CEO, but he worked on the factory floor in a proper industrial, I was going to say sweat and sawdust, but it was sweat and swarf because it manufactured metal products in Manchester. And he worked there with his dad, got a job there because of his dad. But he was a bright bloke, was Anthony. He was a bright bloke, and he didn't just want to be a machine toolist working on a lathe. And he went and got himself a degree. And his father's reaction, I remember Tony telling me this, his father's reaction was exactly that. Who do you think you are? And who knows why? Maybe he's felt threatened by him, and also, within his peer group, his dad, what would his mates think of if his son had, it's an old-fashioned phrase, isn't it, had ideas above his station.
Yes.
But Anthony,
yes.
So Anthony got a degree, and then he got a master's degree, and then he got a doctorate. And as soon as he got a doctorate, he went and moved to the Far East, and he became CEO of a huge multinational manufacturing organization. But it was very, very hard for him. I met him as he started his doctorate, actually. It was very hard for him to have that thinking big thing, because there were so many people who pulled him down. And what I'm going to say to you might be I don't think it is controversial, is that it's very safe in the herd. It's very safe in the flock. Okay. And if you step out of that and go, no, I want more than that. I want to do this. And it doesn't have to be, your success thinking big is not necessarily about money.
No, not at all.
It's about, I want to open a school. I want to start a university. I want to start a hospital. I want to do whatever it is. I want to have the biggest florists in the world. Okay, is that in you doing that, it actually, and I think people should be aware of this, it can make those around you feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because they would really like to do that, or something like it, but they don't. They'd rather stay in their comfort zone. And if you're prepared to go, no, I'm going to do that, it makes them feel bad about themselves. And
you're right, Nick. You're right. And actually, I would go a step further and say, if you're the sort of person who has that vision, that dream, that ambition, no matter what it is, whether it's the best florist in the high street, it doesn't even have to be the biggest florist in the world. It just has to be the best one in your area. That actually you have a duty, because if you're so passionate about that, you actually have a duty to share that.
Okay, that's a thought.
Yeah, and to serve others in the best way that you can. And if you're an educator, you actually have, and you're a really good educator, then you have a duty to share your knowledge with as many people as you possibly can, and serve as many people as you possibly can. So actually thinking small is a disservice to society. And let's go back to Jeff Bezos. Where would we be without Amazon?
Well, where would we been without Amazon this past 3 months?
Exactly.
I mean, really.
Where would we be without Amazon?
And let's be honest, he created this whole we will deliver things to your door thing.
Yeah.
And the supermarkets followed suit.
Yeah.
The supermarkets followed suit in the same way that Stelios started EasyJet, and other airlines went, oh, hang on, we hadn't thought about doing that.
Yeah.
We hadn't thought about doing that.
So actually thinking big can help improve lives, because we'll take EasyJet, and there are other low-cost airlines in other countries across the world, but those enable people to go and see loved ones for a really low cost that they wouldn't normally be able to.
Oh, that's right. I mean, air travel was the preserve of the very wealthy.
Yeah.
What Stelios did with EasyJet is gone, no, everyone can go everywhere and go and visit people and go and see wonderful places and go and experience different cultures and different food. He democratized international travel, is what he did. Absolutely. And without him, it would still be the preserve of the very, very wealthy.
Now, we're doing that for business coaching and consulting. We're democratizing the stuff that we charge a pretty decent amount of money for.
Yeah, a good amount, yeah.
And we're not giving it away, but we're allowing businesses that are much, much smaller, or even at startup phase, to access that when they wouldn't normally be able to access it.
Yes.
And in order to do that, we had to think really big.
Yes. Yeah.
So actually thinking big is about serving more people in the best way that you possibly can.
Yes, that's right. Going back to that florist thing, I want to be the best florist in my village, in my town, so that as many people as possible can get absolutely the best floristry that there is. Because why shouldn't that be accessible to everybody?
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's a great thing. I think the other thing and it's a very British thing, and it's an interesting mindset shift, isn't it, about this thinking big, is people worry about what will people think of them if and when they become successful. So it's a contrast, I think, between America, for example, and Great Britain. And certainly, again, we mention our mother, but there are some people, and she was one of them, if she saw somebody in a really expensive car, a flash car, her attitude was, well, I wonder who he's screwed over to get, I wonder who he's trodden on to get that sort of thing. Whereas I know you and I don't think like that.
No, we
don't.
I
see somebody in a really expensive car, I think, wow, she's really successful, and what she's done that. She must have worked really hard to get that. And that's the mind shift, isn't it? It's just how you regard that. Yeah,
definitely. And we've, not everybody loves us, and that's okay. And some people...
not everybody loves you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, everybody loves you. I forget, Nick.
To be fair.
But that's okay. That's fine. It doesn't matter. And we find the doors that are open, and people who want this thinking big, who want to think globally, who want to democratize business consulting and coaching world are very much supporting us to do that, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you think big, I think you have to be prepared for people to go, I don't really like you anymore, and that's a risk.
I know it is. I know, but you can't be liked by everyone.
No,
And by the way, this is the other thing: is that you can be a thoroughly decent person, but very successful.
I know.
You know what I mean? There are lots of really, really successful people who are thoroughly decent, moral, lovely people.
There are, really lovely people. Yeah.
Lots. The vast majority,
in fact, are really lovely people.
Yeah. In the same way that the vast majority of people who are just kind of, happy doing what they're doing and never want to start a business and are just them are thoroughly decent people.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's sometimes an association, well, they must be really, really horrible if you're successful. Well, that's just a nonsense, isn't it? Anita Roddick, who started the Body Shop and eventually sold out to Estee Lauder, was just a really nice person. J.K. Rowling she's one of the richest people in the country, but she's a thoroughly decent human being.
Yeah, she really is. She really is. Wonderful. So the conclusion is, it's fantastic to think big. And your definition of thinking big is your own definition, and it's perfect, whatever it is. But absolutely, go ahead and think big.
Yes, wonderful.
Brilliant. Take care, Nick. See you. Bye.